The heavy wooden doors of the downtown courthouse creaked open, and 17-year-old Malik Johnson stepped inside, clutching the frayed straps of his backpack as though they could anchor him. The air smelled faintly of polish and old paper, the kind of scent that lingers where too many stories have ended badly. He tried to ignore the sea of eyes that followed him as he approached the defendant's table, his heart hammering against his ribs. It wasn't supposed to be like this. Malik had never been in trouble before, never even had a school detention. But one unlucky night had turned his life upside down. A late bus, a wrong turn, and suddenly he was in the wrong place when a shop alarm went off. He tried to explain to the officers, but they barely listened. Now, wearing his only dress shirt, he faced a judge who held his future in her hands. Judge Eleanor Whitfield adjusted her glasses and studied the file in front of her. Her reputation for sharp wit, and sharper judgments, was known across the city. She glanced at Malik, her lips tightening as if to hide a smirk. "So," she began, her voice echoing in the hushed courtroom, "our young man here claims he just happened to be near the scene when the store alarm rang. Quite the coincidence." She gave a dry, almost dismissive laugh. A ripple of murmurs passed through the courtroom. Malik's stomach sank. He clenched his fists, his nails biting into his palms. The public defender at his side whispered a quiet, "Stay calm," but Malik felt the heat of humiliation spread across his face. Eleanor leaned forward. "Mr. Johnson," she said, "I see here your grades are surprisingly good. Track team, volunteer work at the community center. Yet you expect me to believe you were just, what, out for a late-night stroll?" Malik swallowed hard. "Yes, ma'am," he said, his voice barely above a whisper. "I was just trying to get home." The judge tilted her head. For a long moment, the only sound was the soft hum of the ceiling fan. Then she set down her pen. "You know," she said, her tone shifting, "when I was about your age, something very similar happened to me." The courtroom went still. The bailiff paused mid-step. Malik blinked, unsure if he'd heard her right. "I grew up 2 blocks from here," Eleanor continued, her voice steady but tinged with something softer. "My mother worked nights. I was walking home from the library when the police stopped me. Said I fit the description. They laughed when I told them I'd done nothing wrong." Her eyes met Malik's, really met them this time, and the sharpness in her gaze melted into something startlingly human. "They made me sit on the curb while they searched my bag," she said. "I was 16. A hush swept over the room. Even the murmuring spectators fell silent. Eleanor leaned back, the faintest tremor in her hand as she adjusted her robe. "I promised myself that night that if I ever held the power to make things right for someone in your position, I would use it." Malik felt his throat tighten. The people in the gallery looked between the judge and the teen, as if seeing both of them, really seeing them, for the first time. Judge Whitfield picked up her gavel. "Mr. Johnson," she said, her voice clear and resolute, "the evidence shows you had no involvement in this incident. Case dismissed." The gavel struck once, sharp and final. Gasps rippled through the courtroom. The prosecutor lowered his eyes. Malik's public defender exhaled a breath she'd been holding. But Eleanor wasn't finished. She removed her glasses and set them carefully on the bench. "Young man," she said, "don't let this moment harden you. The world will test you, but you decide who you become." Malik nodded, the weight of fear and shame lifting from his shoulders. For the first time that day, he allowed himself to breathe. As he turned toward the exit, he glanced back. The judge offered the faintest of smiles, one that carried the memory of a frightened 16-year-old girl who had once been exactly where he stood. And in that silence, the room understood.